you just got off shooting, and I also had the privilege to help
That's right.
you guys on set.
We're so happy.
That's where Brooke has been the last few weeks. That's like I haven't seen this guy at all. He's like, I'm on set. I'm following him vicariously through Twitter. Day 1, day 2. I'm like, man, he looks like he's having a good time.
It's crazy though, because I'm like, one thing before we even get too deep into the weeds of how that process went, how different was a feature film as opposed to shooting a short film?
How different was it? How different?
It was different in the sense that I always recommend to people to do shorts first, so that like you can figure out whatever the kinks are and discover it in a shorter amount of time. And it's a way smaller budget. So we had the pleasure of doing so many shorts together, and some separate, and the difference with the feature, now I've been an actress, on feature films, but being a producer on one it was just a different experience.
Welcome to the show.
The preparation, we were preparing for this for a year, and all the work that went into it. And then when you're on set, it's just like, the thing with shorts is that you have a lot of energy because you're getting it done in a weekend, in like 2 days. But when you're doing a feature and you're shooting 6 days a week, and you're doing, luckily with Cadell, we're doing 10 hours a day. But I've been on some sets where it's like 14 hours, 12 hours, and you're having 1 day off a week. The thing is that when you get to that last, like the first week, everybody's like, yeah, I'm energized, call me Red Bull. You know what I mean? Wait, are they? Give us some money, Red Bull.
We'll take it.
So you have like, you have all this energy on the first week. And then the second week, you're in the middle. And then that last leg, you're like, come on, we could do this. And I think that's the thing, is like having the stamina to keep that same energy in the first week throughout all the weeks, not just for the actors, but definitely the crew who don't get to have a scene off. They're going all the hours straight. They're cutting their lunches shorter so they can prep their cameras and sound equipment. And so just like having that stamina to do that for 3 weeks is a whole nother ball game.
Yeah, it's a different element. So when we do shorts, you can think about the short. When you do a short, it's essentially 1 or 2 scenes, and that's the whole. Depending on what kind of short you do. But if you're doing it so that you can film it in one weekend, it's 1, 2, maybe 3 scenes. But when you're doing a feature, you have to your sense of macro is so much larger. That just thinking about the creative side of it is just exponentially more difficult, because you're not just thinking about the arc of those few scenes. You have to think about. I'm about to geek out on you. So especially when you're writing and directing, you have to think about the whole narrative arc, and you have to think about the character arcs that happen.
And
you have to think about the arcs of each scene. You want to start and end somewhere. So there's all these arcs going on. And to cap it all off, you're filming it out of order. So you have the arcs, but you got to go like this with it.
100%.
It's so much more difficult.
Early.